This is only the preseason. Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Chicago Bears reaction. And looking by the score, Bears got whooped. 41-15 by the Buffalo Bills at home. But I'm going to dive into this later on. But first things first, I want to thank you guys for the love and support that you've shown me throughout this rough time and dealing with the loss of my grandfather. I appreciate the love and support of you guys tremendously, and it'd be crazy if I did not give you guys the love and thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for the support. But we got a lot of football to get into with this Bears-Bills contest, so without further ado, let's dive into it.
I'm striving to get rich. That's why I always went 2 years without buying shoes and feet. Things change now. My mom hearing me with my music and she look a little proud.
Okay, first things first, let's get into the Mitchell Trubisky factor. I'm glad that Bear fans didn't boo him out the stadium because he didn't deserve it. It wasn't all him. I'm glad he didn't get booed out the stadium. He didn't deserve that. And I'm glad he got some applause. And to be honest, I'm glad he played well, but it just happened to be against the Bears. So I'm not happy he played well, but this Bears defense, I mean, of course you didn't have everybody out there, but they were missing open field tackles left and right. They could not secure tackles, and that is an issue. That's not an issue of personnel. That is an issue on players. You have to secure the tackle. We cannot go for the big hits. We cannot go for the splash hits. You have to make secure tackles in the open field when they are open to you. You have to make tackles. And the Bears, they were in position to make plays on defense, but they were missing a ton of tackles. And that is something they need to correct. Scheme-wise, they were in position to make some plays in that first half. They were in position to make some plays. But the problem is you got to secure the tackle. You can be in position all you want to. You have to secure the tackle. You did have some pressure on Trubisky, and Trubisky showed his athleticism. He was able to escape and make some throws on the run and make some smart plays. And this Bears defense, I just say I was looking for them to perform a lot better. Even though I believe this Buffalo Bills team is coached very well, and that's why I believe they have a possibility of dethroning the Chiefs, for those who really hated on me for making that video of why the Chiefs may not three-peat. But that's neither here nor there. I just think the Buffalo Bills, if you look at the roster and the way they played this game, I believe that the way this team is coached, they can dethrone KC, but that's for another video. But this Bears defense, I was not expecting that at all. I was not expecting them to look this bad. I know Trubisky has talent. I know Trubisky can play some football. I was one that believed in him. I might have been wrong in a certain sense, but they made that Bills offense look absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's head-scratching. You would not expect that from a Bears defense, even without everybody playing in the lineup. You wouldn't expect it. They do get Gibson and Jackson back this week, but even though Jackson has been dealing with some nagging injuries himself, and just this defense, if that's what we're looking forward to going into the regular season, we're going to be in trouble. Now, I believe in Sean Desai's scheme. I believe he's going to be a little bit more aggressive. He's going to put players in a little bit better position than when the Chuck Pagano was in his scheme. But it looks like the Bears defense got out-coached. And in a way, they got out-coached by Brian Daboll and his offensive scheme. It looks like they got out-coached. It looks like they got outspeeded with Buffalo speed on the offensive side of the ball. It did not look good. It did not look good. Special teams for the Bears did not look good either. Special teams was a really bad point last week, And this week it didn't get any better. As special teams, I believe, is one of the bigger parts of the game of football, and it just doesn't get its recognition because it's not as glorified as the offense and the defense. But this Bears special team did not look good. Again, for the second straight week, special teams unit for the Chicago Bears did not look good. Point blank period. They didn't look good at all. They have some correcting to do on forms tackling on special teams as well, not just the defense. They have to secure tackles, they have to stay in their lanes, and they have to play assignment football. Everybody's trying to make a roster spot, so you got guys out of position trying to make that splash play so they can secure the spot on special teams, but you have to stick to your assignments. That was a problem last week, and it's a problem again this week. Special teams is not good. And I'm going to get into Justin Fields later. Of course, I know you guys are waiting for my thoughts on that, but I'm going to get into that a little bit later. I just wanted to touch base on a few things that really stood out to me. The defense, it has to be corrected. Now, I know it's not the full unit, but defensively, the Bears have to play better. They have to play better. Point blank period, they have to play better. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They have to play better. They have to secure tackles on defense and special teams. They have to be better as a unit. Now, I know guys have been in and out of the lineup, but tackle is tackling. You have to tackle. And you have to secure the sacks. You have to secure tackles in the backfield. Those can be big plays that Buffalo ended up turning into longer gains. And they were getting beat a lot on those quick, short slants that they were running in the first half. They were getting beat on those quick, short slants that they were running in the first half. And if that's anything, that's another sign of trouble. Now, thank God it's just a preseason. Thank God it's just a preseason. Because if it wasn't, we'd be in trouble defensively. But let's get to the big point, and that's the Bears offense. First thing I want to touch on is the offensive line. Sucks. The offensive line for the Chicago Bears sucks. Let's just point it at that. They suck. Now, I know they're dealing with some injuries. Tevin Jenkins, prayers out to him, just had back surgery. They did sign Jason Peters, and he didn't play today, of course, being brand new to the roster and everything. Burrow, I was watching out for Burrow. He played solidly, but Hambright and the rest of that unit, they almost got Justin Fields killed. Andy Dalton was getting pressure left and right. Justin Fields got rocked, even though they called it on the rough and the passer play, but the pass rusher was free. And then you think about Fields, he had a groin injury he was dealing with at a point in this week. You would think you would want to protect the first round pick, the potential future of the Chicago Bears, and this offensive line does not look good at all. You cannot win football games if your offensive line is not good. And it's not good now. I know it's the preseason. I know it is. But you still have to play. You still have to protect your quarterback. The Bears didn't do so. The running game was not there because the offensive line was not very good. And we cannot have that for the second straight year in a row. Can't have it. You're not going to win games. You're going to go on another 6-game losing streak if your offensive line plays like that. How they played today, you're going to go on another 6-game losing streak. Point blank period. The offensive line is terrible. Terrible. You cannot win games when you're blocking like that. You can't do it. You can't win. Now, Andy Dalton in the first string offense for the most part again struggled. A couple of 3-and-out series. And it was very interesting that the crowd actually gave a big applause when they got a first down. Mind you, Andy Dalton, I didn't believe was playing all that bad, but he was getting pressure left and right. That offensive line was not able to hold and sustain blocks. They were not able to protect in the running game and then did not block at all in the passing game. So you're going to have some struggles when your offensive line is not protecting and they're not run blocking. Offensive line coach Juan Castillo, he has to get this together. He has to find a way to get this line together because they did not play well at all. And the fact that fans booed Andy Dalton and then he went out to throw that big touchdown bomb to Rodney Adams. And just to speak on Rodney Adams, he has been balling this preseason. Adams has been absolutely balling this preseason. I've loved what I've seen from him in these 2 games. Making big, tough, contested catches and making things happen out there on the football field. And honestly, I'm seeing a lot more from him than a lot of other Bear receivers that has been in the lineup this preseason. I've seen more from Rodney Adams this preseason than I have from Daz Newsome. I've seen more from Rodney Adams this season than I have from Damiere Byrd. Even though Damiere Byrd has some couple plays today, but out of all the Bear receivers, Rodney Adams has really, really stood out to me this preseason. He has really stood out. He's made some really tough contested catches. He is getting open, and I love what I've seen from him. And, of course, you guys are waiting on my thoughts on this guy, Mr. Justin Fields. Now, one thing I was looking out for was how was he going to respond from the groin injury? Was he going to look the same quick, mobile, speedy quarterback that we watched at, well, me personally, as an Ohio State fan, watched at Ohio State the last 2 seasons and what we seen last week from him. And he still looks like that same speedy quarterback, mobile. He was making some really good throws. He had some drops here and there. He made one little mistake where he was running out of run and didn't get enough on it to throw it out of bounds, which could have been dangerous. And, of course, that big shot he took. But I've loved the fact that he was able to get right up and get right back out there and compete. I love that from Justin Fields. I've watched it personally his 2 years at Ohio State. I love his toughness. He is a very, very, very tough football player. Very, very tough. He's very, very talented. And I love some of the things that he was able to do again today. Now, the numbers, passing-wise, as you guys know, and if you're new to the channel, I don't care about the stat sheets. Stat sheets don't tell the full story. Now, the eye test on Justin Fields is that he has it. At least in my opinion, he has it. He's not one of those guys that's going to try to force everything deep. And I love that. If it's not deep there, take your check down. And the throw he made to Jesse James, I loved it. Even though it was a little bit overthrow if you're nitpicking a little bit, but I love the throw he was able to make. That was a second straight week in a row on the kind of throwback play like that, that Jesse James was open like that. He wasn't as wide open as he was last week, but he was open on the play again. So, overall, the Bears need to correct the offensive line. The Bears really, really need to correct the tackling on defense. And the Bears really, really need to correct their special teams. And another thing before I get out for here, I'm kind of glad the Bear fans didn't boo Mitchell Trubisky. I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm kind of disappointed they booed Andy Dalton. Haven't we not learned patience? Haven't we not learned patience? Even though the offense didn't look bad, it's not all on Dalton. Just like guys tried to put it all on Trubisky. It's not Dalton. The offensive line sucked. The offensive line sucked today. It sucked. But my overall grade for the Bears, I'll have to give it a D. I'll have to give it a D. Defensively, the scheme was there, didn't tackle. Special teams, got to stay in our assignments, got to stay in our lanes. Offensively, the offensive line has to be better. Justin Fields, still impressive. Andy Dalton, he had that one big-time throw. Receivers got to catch the ball. And the turnover problem, that's got to be corrected as well. But thank God it's the preseason. The Bears lose 41-15, but it's the preseason, so I'm not going to be too disappointed, but at the eye test, the Bears have a lot more work to do before Tennessee next Saturday. But that is all I've got. I've probably been speaking on this too long. APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. On the road to 2,000, almost there. So click that subscribe button and notification bell. Leave this video a like, all that stuff YouTubers tell you to do. But APW Sports signing out. Stay safe. Have a great and excellent day, and I'll catch you guys in the next vid. Peace.